And when you get up, it will fall off. See.
Last time I spoke for you, I'm guessing a little stage fright then.
No, straight to it.
Today,
What's the conflict?
walk-ins.
Oh, is that right
A
now?
lot of
Yeah,
them
right.
like 1 to 2.
Oh,
Yeah, timing is everything.
Um,
oh, good. It's good.
This is as close as I get it.
I appreciate that.
Still.
So yeah, that's just not working at times. I guess I just love it. Because yeah, there were tons of people here last time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, it's scary. I will.
Well, it's still good advertising. It's supposed to, it's recorded, so it's on
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's
it's
available, and then also it's on Facebook.
Right.
So, but yeah, I thought 20-30 people would show up today.
I did too. Oh, yeah, I did too.
Oh, we got.
I think we're live. Hi. Welcome, everybody. How's it going? I'm Rochelle J from Upper Midwest Bead Society, and I've got Jan with me, our fearless president. And we are live from Dakota Stones. Say hi, Ricky and Jeff.
Hey,
Oh my
guys.
gosh.
Hello. Hello.
And we do have some folks over too. I just can't move my camera. So if y'all want to say hi, everybody else see you or hear you. We know that if you're not here, you're missing out on a whole lot of fun because we have got, oh my gosh, this warehouse is filled with stones galore, shiny, sparklies, big, little, oh golly gee. And we're going to get right into it and let the people who are really all about this place tell you. Let me just spotlight feature them for everyone. So then, here we go, spotlight. Welcome, Jeff and Ricky from Dakota Stones.
Everybody, and I'd like to say that Ty from Celebany Studio will also be joining us as well. She's back there, not on camera, but she'll come up after we get into talking about Dakota Stones and we lose our breath. But yeah, I'm Ricky from Dakota Stones. I've been here for, I think the first time I actually did anything for Dakota Stones was for the Upper Midwest Bead Society in 2017, 2016. Which started out as a train wreck, and luckily it was it helped out by a few people in the audience, but should be a little easier today. Oh, yeah.
I always like it.
Oh.
I brought my own chair.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody else gets a roller. I won't.
got here early. Yeah, so I know I've met a lot of you, and probably a lot of you are watching online. I'm sure I've never met you before, but for the people here in Minneapolis, I've met a lot of you. I've known a lot of you. I've worked with Rochelle a long time at Bobby Bead, so I've been around for a while, not as long as this guy, but for a few years. But about myself is I've always been appreciated rocks and gemstones as a kid growing up, and kind of found my way into this industry as a way to kind of be around things that I really like to do, and make a living doing it. So appreciate Jeff and Dakota Stones for letting me do that. And just be around rocks and gems and get to work with that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're Dakota Stones.
Yeah, I'm Jeff. I'm the president founder of Dakota Stones. I know we started back. I can kind of give you a little brief history of where we started. I'll talk camera here. We got people here in the audience. But Dakota Stones started off in 2003, and I kind of will do this as a little bit of I think the bead industry in general kind of really started to get highlighted a couple years before that, and we can kind of talk about our part in the bead industry and kind of see where it's been, where it's potentially headed. I'll let you guys ask some questions as well, but we started in 2003. It was my grandpa was a lapidary, and I remember going into the basement and being yelled at for turning on and off wheels and machines and whatnot, but I kind of remember seeing that and understanding that he never once took a vacation that didn't have rock hounding going on it. So they drove places like we used to do instead of flying. So kind of started to see that. But then my dad had a lot of contacts in China where a lot of the manufacturing is moving to from the United States in the mid-90s, moved to China. So we started going over and kind of getting to understand what this industry looked like. For the first, I'd say 4 years, we were building the brand and doing a lot of bead shows, driving around in a beat up van, doing, probably 30, 40 shows a year to kind of understand the industry, and then also go and visit bead stores. At that time, I would say we had 36 bead stores in the Twin Cities at one point in 2007. There was, I'd say, north of 1,500 in the US in 2007 was probably the height of it. That started to change. I do think, pressures from the bead shows coming on was changing that, where people could go and get discounted and wholesale pricing at different shows, and there's just a mass of beads coming in. And then I think the online bead stores changed that, and probably the final straw that broke the camel's back was probably like 2008 with the housing crisis and changes to rents and brick and mortar. So Dakota Stones, we started off, we built an 8-inch line. We were servicing bead stores. That was kind of the customer base that we most wanted to work with, is just, being a distributor and having carry our brand and providing. We changed and made an 8-inch line of packaging because we thought that would better for the hobbyists to be able to, when we were doing stringing back in the day, it used to be one pendant, and then you kind of want 3 or 4 other stone of the same stone types. Mm-hmm. So to buy 8 feet worth of beads to make a 16-inch necklace didn't always make sense, but we still have that 8-inch strand line. We still have calibrated cabs that we did, but we started to pivot more towards doing, supporting the online bead stores, where we started the art beads of the world, the goodie beads of the world, which we'll find out later became more of a role for us here. But as those stores kind of accelerated to move online. But I think what we probably are starting to see the back half of that is this isn't, beading and jewelry making is a very isolating activity, or it's a solitary activity. And those bead stores were such an incubator to get new people into it, to kind of teach you what to do. And now I think the internet has really led a lot of us to find each other online. And there's these new sense of community that kind of came out of probably around COVID. But moving forward, I'd say we spent 6 or 7 years trying to build our own website as a wholesale only. We did see that a lot of direct to consumer sales was kind of the next leg of what was going on. So we briefly stood up a website called Brown Beads for about 2 months until Goody Beads, another Minnesota company, became available. So my wife acquired that company, and we rolled them into us at the end of 2017. So we had Dakota Stones over here as the wholesale division, and the Goody Beads was a retail and direct to consumer division. As we started to see a lot of the brands out there that are producing started to go direct to consumer as well, which once again put a little bit more pressure on retail stores and even the online stores. So as we all kind of I'd say the worst thing that keeps happening in this business is supply chains keep changing, and how people find their beads and get their beads. And that's also allowed overseas sellers to jump in through Etsy, through eBay, through Amazon. So where we currently were in end of 2017 is we took on Goody Beads. We grew to about a 20-person company that and then basically just ran headlong into COVID and mandated shutdowns. But all of us, it was an interesting dilemma that we faced, because we were kind of forbidden or mandated not to come into work, but our website kept selling because we were all at home all of a sudden, and everybody needed their beads in a different way. So we just had this really, I could come in with my kids. Good thing I had so many daughters. I have 4 younger daughters. So my wife was coming in. We were coming in shifts. Ricky and his wife were coming in and picking at different times. So we were able to kind of actually see a little bit of a growth and a stasis during COVID. But I think in the industry, I thought we were going to kind of see some consolidation going into 2018, 2019. Sorry, I know there's a ton of dates here, but we thought we'd see some of the bigger websites and everybody kind of consolidate into, and people were, and businesses were really focused on fulfillment. And what we found through Goody Beads and going from a 5,000 SKU company to a 35,000 SKU company And this is a lot of like the shrapnel left over from Goody Beads, but when you're sending out packs like this for 86 cents. And you have to, and then you're shipping it for free, and there's 45 minutes of doing that. What we really found that we could never solve was how do you fulfill online for and ship it all for free and then pay the people to do that stuff. So that ultimately became what led us to, we ran Goody Beads for 7 years, I would
Yep.
say. But we ultimately found that we needed to kind of go back to our roots, which is gemstones, which is being a little bit smaller and agile company. And so in last year in April, we sold Goody Beads to another brand in the industry who has since closed it. So I think
Incorporated.
they incorporated it. And
Fancy word, yeah. You can say
so
that.
since started to
Well,
liquidate
yeah.
it.
We went from, what is it, 25 person company to, I think we're 5 people now. So it's, we consolidated quite a bit.
And I think even through COVID, where I thought, I thought where consolidation would happen, where we get kind of maybe even a better supply chain with some bigger players and kind of reset things. I think COVID, what it did is it splintered it into a million pieces, because I think you had so many people that were going on and doing. We have a lot of influencers, we have ourselves doing live sales. And so I think the industry where it's at right now is very fragmented, and I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it's interesting to see that there are a lot of smaller 1 and 2 person companies that are kind of able to sell out there. And it did give a little bit stronger rise to Etsy, which did see a lot more of overseas vendors selling into that as well. We'll, and then we're, I guess, fast forward into 2025, and we get to run headlong into the tariff challenge and supply chains and whatever that looks that we're navigating. And I don't really have any answers. We're just bringing in smaller shipments and trying to deal with an ever-changing, I guess, what's ever-changing strategy of our government on tariffs and how that's working. And I'm sure if any of you guys are ordering from overseas or any of your vendors, they're trying to communicate that as well as we all get our stuff online. But I think that kind of brings us down to where what I've found is reducing it back to a really good core group of people focused on gemstones, focused on what we do well, has kind of, I guess, gotten us into a better place overall versus where we were a couple of years ago. And now we're just dealing with the next thing, which is AI, and how do you deal with ever expanding costs of running a website and being competitive on those websites and hiring people in all those fancy positions to make sure your website is ranking. And so this is a whole new, I guess, challenge that we're dealing with. So who would have thought getting into a beading business would have been like running IBM? But I mean, it's kind of been this super heavy, super like dramatic changes in 2007 and again in 11 and again in 19 and 20 and now again in 24 and 25 with all of these. So it's just, I mean, I think we've all experienced it to some degree, but I enjoy the challenges. I think our team is up for it, but it becomes long days
And changing days, everything next from day to day.
Yeah.
Everything's always a new day.
That could be the owner's personality too. If 40 is
Flavor of the day.
well, yeah. So I guess probably open it up to questions to Ricky or I about industry, about Dakota, about anyone.
Yeah. Any questions?
How have your live sales affected your business? Is that a good thing?
Good question. So obviously COVID kind of spawned that where we could do that and reach people easily during COVID. But again, for us, and I think me and Jeff having families, going from doing 25 to 30 trade shows a year, doing the live sales actually helped us not have to do so many of those. And we can stay, I have a 5-year-old, and it makes it easier for us to stay home and be with our families. But the live sales are a big part of our business now.
You do them on Fridays too now, right?
Yep, Mondays and Fridays. So Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Time, and Fridays at noon Central Time. So
Friday is supposed to be a little bit more of an educational type thing, where Monday would be probably more commerce.
Yeah.
Wait, I haven't seen Monday Night Football in about 4 years. I'd say that by Monday nights.
Make dinner.
You can have a glass of wine, yeah.
Maybe start a recipe of the month.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Rocks in a movie, I mean, you just have it.
It's funny because there's about, let's see, anywhere from like 90 to 120 people that watch on Mondays. And I'd say probably half of that actually purchase things. And so a lot of people,
That's a community.
majority of people just like to watch and be part of the community because it's beating what we're talking, yeah. And a lot of times they're having cocktails and making dinner, depending where part of the country you're in. But yeah, no, it's a fun part of the business and we enjoy doing it.
And I think since COVID, you've seen all of these communities, this one included that were, the Bead Society. But I think it's, like I said, it is a little bit of a solitary art form that you do as you're doing it, but there's now all these sets of community that's out there. It's interesting, but I do think that our challenge is going to be, as I was researching for this, obviously it seemed like Joann's closing and being absorbed by Michael's and Hobby Lobby, but the statistics that they talk about out there is there are more younger people are doing this. It's just a matter of where do you reach and find them. I think they don't necessarily take on the hobby as a more of a in-depth thing. They take it on as more like I'm gonna do jewelry designing for 2 months and I'm gonna go build candles and I'll do knit. So I think it's good to see them being crafting, and I know there's a big upswing in trend, but I don't know if they're completely taking on like a hobby at that point. But
Well, maybe let's settle on one and decide if this is what they want to do for them. Stress release, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Eating just relieve your stress.
Well, the rocks have such great energy
Yeah.
that all the different metaphysical energies of the rock are what they're coming in for.
Oh, yeah.
Even just all the stretchy bracelets, is helping you get through your day, helping you not be attacked by your coworkers or whatever you think is going on in the world that you need, the protection
right.
from. It's our bestseller at Lotus Beads is the 8mm bracelet, and so the Ricky Wraps, you're gonna be teaching that at our Twin Cities Bead Bazaar.
Yeah, the Tricky Ricky now I'll be doing. And it's funny you bring up bracelets and 8mm stones because I think majority of the designers we still sell to are a lot of people making bracelets. The stretch bracelets are still probably one of the bread and butters for gemstones and especially 8mm, especially 8mm round beads. So it's a lot of people that it's a great intro into the industry, and a lot of people can be very successful at doing it. When I worked at Bobby Bead, I sold so many stretch bracelets that I made there and made so many for people. So it's still, it was 15 or 10, 12, 13 years ago. So. But,
I hear that ankle bracelets are big, are coming back big.
oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sure. I mean, we'll get there. Somebody,
Or ones that you can attach to around your ankle, your boots, or to your boot lace, like from your laces up on the side.
okay.
it's good. 4 of them are better than 2 for us. We'd rather see.
Beat them all. Yeah. Beat everything. Yeah. Any other questions or,
I know that you've spoken before about where you have your stone cut.
Yeah, so we've, I'd say everything that we manufacture is coming from 2 factories that we've been working with in China, and that has changed dramatically over the 15 years that I've been going over on a regular basis. But so it's just so much more automated. So we work with factory partners that we have over there where we would buy rough with them, keep it at their, and then basically, so we own the rough that sits in their lots and they'll cut that for us. When we work out of the other country, would be India, would be the main. Those are high-end materials. It takes a whole nother set of logic and bank accounts to go buy a big thing of rubies and sit on all that versus Jaspers. So when we work with that, we work with 2 trusted sources over there that we buy ready stock that's already cut. So we kind of see what it looks like and we get a chance to know versus the out of China. But I'd say still 80% of what we carry is going to be cut and manufactured in China.
Is there stone that's sourced in the US?
There is, yeah.
Turquoise or-
I'll let-
Yeah, we do, so, the stones that are sourced and cut in. The United States are gonna be a lot of our North American turquoise, so. There is well, most of it is Mexican, but we North American, so.
Yeah.
There's a few mines still operating in the United States, like Kingman and Royston. Well, they're not mines, but they're operations.
Yeah.
That still mine a lot of turquoise, but majority, as I'm sure a lot of people know, majority of the turquoise mines in Mexico and United States are closed. So, and also now China, we can find again that the Blue Bay mine in China are also closed. But most of our, I'd say 95% of our mined Mexican and United States turquoise is cut here in the United States.
So it's gonna have to be something that can, I guess, sell for a certain price to accommodate everything that goes along with that, so.
So when you buy from India, do you go there and pick them yourself or?
Do a lot with with photographs and video now at this point.
Okay,
We just
just
had, I
for-
mean, yeah, I have never been, I was invited to a few weddings back in the day, which I wish I would have taken it up on one. Life was easier and I didn't have 4 kids and college kids doing all that, but
You said you go to China, that's why I wondered if you went to India.
I hadn't been, but we definitely have that on the agenda to get over and do that, just more from a personal situation to see the country and travel. So.
India, I'd say India, working with our India factory has been probably, it's more of a new thing over the last couple of years.
Okay,
Which is a new kind of just seeing where the industry is going, that we wanted to open up more variety. And as you mentioned too, the differences between India and China in manufacturing, where China is still, or sorry, India is still hand done majority of like cutting and faceting, where China is all about technology, automation, using, computers, CAD and all that stuff to do the cutting. And if you look at the Chinese cut gemstones and comparing to a Swarovski crystal, you see how crisp and how good that the Chinese factories are getting compared to like an old Swarovski and the fastening on those. So even copying some of the designs and stuff. So if you look at some of our table cut cubes, that's a Swarovski design. So
Good. So where do you see, you have new, Tia was showing me a couple of the new cuts. The new, it's like a twisted something.
oh yeah,
fun.
that's exactly,
So-
yeah, exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. So with the automation, it's allowing the factories to cut really cool geometric and fun shapes that traditionally in China were not done until recently. So I can show you some of that stuff when we do a little tour for sure.
Yeah, so they're incorporating AutoCAD and computer programs to
Yeah.
help with cutting and different, it's essentially just geometry. So
Yeah.
they're coming up with some really interesting. It gets expensive for us because it's kind of used to be, there was a trend when they just kept unearthing new stones, and so it's like, okay, we gotta get that new jasper, so it gets expensive because you're adding to it. Now it's just all shaped, so it's like, okay, we gotta get that and these 20 stones and then these 20 stones, and so. It keeps it interesting, but yeah, it does all of a sudden get pretty, like, there's a commitment to it financially.
kind of like 2 whole beads when they came out.
Yeah.
We needed this and this and this.
Oh yeah. I remember when it was Starman had a new shape and cut every other week, it seemed like, out at the
Yeah.
back in the day. And also wanted to say that the overseas too in China, back when Jeff started, I think they would have at the factories would be 500 people working there.
A 5,000.
5,000 people
Yeah.
working at the factories cutting these stones for the whole entire world. And now they're down to 5 people cutting the stones. So the industry over there has changed, where the parents, the children, the kids want to do, obviously same thing, want to do tech careers versus going to, cutting gemstones and stuff like that. And so the automation is kind of replacing that, because they can work, one person can work a assembly line and computer versus, you having 50 people work on one cut of a stone. So
Ooh, so
If you want to do a tour, we want to meet your fabulous silversmith.
what do you want to do?
What-
Talk, we'll do a tour, or
Whatever's up to you. How do you wanna come talk first and then?
why don't you introduce yourself?
Come over.
Yeah, we'll do a tour. We'll have Ty talk to Ty. You want me to Ty is Salvini Jewelry Studios. Ty is one of the premier instructors for metalsmithing here in Minnesota. So, yeah. Oh, you did it. Wow, okay.
So they asked me if I wanted to talk and I said, sure, I can talk. But I don't know what I'm talking about. So, do you guys have questions or want me to just make something up? I would prefer you have questions.
Do you have classes here? What do you offer for
Oh,
fun that we can do?
Yeah, so I have rented this brown little corner. It was super weird. I did the Beat Bazaar last year in October. They sold Goody in April. And I just heard this voice say, you should ask them if they have space that you could sublet. And I was like, that's the weirdest thing ever. And like that voice just got louder and louder. And I went up to Ricky and I'm like, what do you think? I mean, is there any chance you guys would have space to sublet? And Jackie said, we did just sell Goody. And so I met with Jeff October 29th, I think. And January 1st was my first day of business here. So that was pretty whirlwindy. So I have a full class studio shop over here. I can have 6 people in a class. I do all my custom work and repairs over there. I have a laser welder, a casting studio. I just got set up to do molds and replications with casting. It's pretty exciting. So I teach everything from wire wrapping, silversmithing, fabrication, casting, stone setting, stone cutting.
Pearl knotting.
Pearl knotting. I like pearl knotting. What else? I don't personally teach metal clay, but a really fabulous teacher that's been teaching metal clay for longer than I've been teaching silversmithing, which is about 20 years, is teaching classes with me. So I am offering metal clay classes, and in fact, she's offering a metal clay class at the TCBB next week through me. If anybody wants to play with metal clay.
I think it's probably one of the most popular classes.
It definitely attracts a lot of, I will say she has gotten probably more 5-star reviews than I have, which is, you know, a little concerning. But anyway, I printed out some schedules that I can hand out. I have lots and lots of classes that are available for just intro level, or even just one-time classes. I'm also teaching in 8 different community ed programs right now. So community ed classes by design need to be friendly to anybody who walks through the door. So I have a whole bunch of classes in my toolbox now that are just fun for anybody. So
You have everything online?
I do have all the classes that are available are online on my website, salabene.com. You're also welcome to text me or email me with any questions that you have. And had a thought and it went away. I'm also gonna have a booth next week at TCBB.
With the price of silver and gold going crazy, how is that affecting your business?
I'm losing sleep. Actually, ironically, I was just sitting over there researching, how do you seal copper? I don't see any answer other than pivoting largely for classes, pivoting into base metals. It's not ideal. They're harder to work with. And of course, there's the whole turn people green part. But what I'm seeing is that those metal prices aren't coming down anytime soon. So that does not in any way, shape, or form mean that we can't be making things. We just have to figure out how to adapt. So I will not be moving into the like German silver or what's the other word for that? Anyway, it's a copper alloy, but it has nickel in it. So staying far, far away from that, but bronze and copper are both reasonably decent to work with.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
You said copper turns green.
Yep.
People green.
Yep.
Magnetic copper.
Magnetic copper, what is that?
They use it in winding electric motors.
Okay,
And I actually, we had a 66 Corvette, which has tip-up headlights, and we had to rewire one of the motors to do that. And that's how I got introduced to it. It's darker and richer and it doesn't, I have a necklace that I made 20 years ago and there is no green.
okay. I will say that everybody reacts differently to it. I actually have a good friend that can wear copper all day long and not turn green. I look at it and it looks like Kermit the Frog. So
But magnetic copper.
I'll check
doesn't-
into it.
But I also.
Because it's coated, because the wires have to be next to each other in the winding of the motor.
What is it coated with?
I don't actually know what it's coated with,
Okay.
but like I
Cause
said, I
that
have
starts
this
to sound like I
necklace
can't solder it.
that I don't.
That would go back for,
You would have to just try it. That I can't go through. I didn't.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
after you're done, because like my friend that runs Phoenix Fire, it's all copper Neil jewelry, so she colors it first with the heat and
Mhm.
change it, and then she coats it with a lacquer.
Okay,
And then it doesn't change and it doesn't
Yeah,
affect your
and
skin
that's-
at all, and so it's just a Rust-Oleum lacquer.
okay,
So she does like 3 coats,
okay.
but that way, and then that's what's also all over the wire. The para wire and the other wire, they use lacquer it. That's what's on the perma finish beads, Duracoat beads. It's a lacquer coating. So on all of it, and if it's heated to a certain way, I know with the beads, then it's really permanent for a long ways. So
Interesting.
it's.
Yeah, I need to do more research. I wasn't motivated before. I'm motivated now.
But with the price of silver too, you know.
That's what I mean.
It's
Yeah.
none of the metals are
Yeah.
cheap, so.
Yeah, so I will still absolutely still be working with silver and gold. I mean, that won't change, but the prices need to be affordable for students in particular, so we need to find ways to be learning and messing around and practicing things that you can afford to do that with. So, and if anybody's interested, after you guys do your tour, I am set up to do a rolling mill demo and make and take. Which is just a really, really fun way to pattern metals. And we could create earrings or a pendant or something if you want to. And hopefully in the tour, you'll stop through and see my space.
Well,
Any other questions? All right,
we could even start there if you want to, it all depends, where do you wanna go?
Oh, yeah, we give a Dakota Stones tour and then, maybe once we're done, we can go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go for it.
all right,
Sure.
yeah. So we,
Jen, you wanna spotlight me?
Yep.
all right. Thank you, Ty.
So we'll start with our, I would say, kind of our main line of gemstones, which is gonna be our large hole. We are we are the largest producer of large hole gemstones, and that is a bead with a 2 to 2.5 millimeter hole size. We use with leather, rat tail, nylon, hemp, anything like that. We've been working on it for, I think, since Jeff started Dakota Stones, and we have over 135 different stones in it. So you can see it's a very glorious wall. Very.
What's the smallest hole you make or smallest bead that you can make
6
that big?
millimeter, yeah, 6 millimeter, because once it gets any smaller than that, the beads will start to break.
Oh, okay.
Just uses a special technique with hypersonic drilling and diamond bits that allow it to smoothly cut through the bead and not have any sharp edges or any breakage. So yeah, that's kind of our biggest line, I think, or our most, what would you say, our most
Well, it's,
complete line, I should say.
yeah, it's so popular to make your stretchy bracelets on.
So now we'll talk about my favorite thing here at Dakota Stones. You can still hear me. And
Huh?
that's turquoise, as I talked about earlier. We do specialize in all sorts of turquoise, from China, from United States, from we have Turkish, Egyptian, Tibetan. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Do you have a
different-
favorite country that it's from?
I mean, I've been partial to US turquoise.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. I do like my Morenci and Royston varieties.
Uh-huh. And so the Sleeping Beauty mine's totally shut down too?
Been for a while. Got a good cutter that does it for us here in the States and has a pretty good supply, but we're starting to notice that
It's running low.
the styles that run those, the quality of it is differing from the perfect baby blue or a
Uh-huh.
robin's egg blue to more like as you see here.
Right, with a
Getting
little
bit of,
of,
it's getting a little washed out a little bit. Just because obviously there's not new material coming in for it
right.
and things like that. We also specialize in some artisan cut stuff. That Jeff works with a single cutter overseas that he's been working with for I think almost 20 years, and who does hand cut designs for us that him and Jeff actually work on and send pictures, but hand drawn pictures back and forth to cut the stones that Jeff wants for certain shapes and stuff like that.
Do they cut sunstone here?
But some stuff here for just turquoise mostly.
Okay,
Yeah, just turquoise.
I just wondered, I know they mine it in Oregon.
Yeah, sunstone.
Sunstone.
Sunstone, yes, they mine in Oregon. The another thing that's changed, as we were talking earlier, over the last 10 years is it's a lot harder to get any material out of the United States to our factory than it is to get it here. So if you notice a lot of the Rocky Butte jaspers, any of the Oregon stones like sunstone, is not necessarily getting cut into beads and things and calves as much as it was 10 years ago. So, so we're relying on a lot of the majority of our sources for materials of origin is Madagascar right now is probably one of the top ones because they're finding everything there from labradorites to moonstones, jaspers. Now they're finding really nice rubies and sapphires. So they're kind of coming out with everything in Madagascar at the time currently. I'll show you what else we got. Our large 16-inch line, which is like the 6mm to 12mm rounds and shapes and stuff like that. Which could be our biggest line.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so everything from amethyst to aquamarines, rose quartzes. These are all going to be available here in person and on our website too. If you guys would like to go and shop our website here, this is available to do that. But as you can see, it kind of just goes on forever, as you look through it.
It's all color coordinated, so
It's by stone type, so it would be nice to do color coordinated, but it'd be a nightmare to try to find things when we have.
I know it would, but when you have something like this, obviously purple's the base.
Yeah.
So, or
Good one to show you that we're talking about some of the more. Oh, here we go. Here's some of the twists. So these are what we're talking about. A lot of more of the machine cutting. We're able to get these cool, kind of unique facets and shapes out versus being done by hand.
so cool.
Yeah. Versus, and then we're talking about things kind of mimicking Swarovski
Right.
when they've been coming out, and things like here are the cubes, which is if you're familiar with the Swarovski cubes, that's the.
And you have them as small as like what, 2mm?
2mm for those. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think Swarovski ever made any sizes that small.
No, they never did.
I'll show you our.
So many pretties.
Yeah, Jeff loves labradorite. We have labradorite bead selection and around. Sure. All right, and then I'll show our last big line. We do have cabochons too, which we passed over there, but we can skip those.
There's some smaller ones that are little bugger.
Out
of school.
All right, so here's our 8-inch line, like Jeff was talking about. We produce this majority for bead stores and resellers because you can fit more on your walls at your brick and mortar store. And like I said, people like making bracelets. So 8 inches is a traditional bracelet size for traditional bracelet size. So it makes it easier for people to pick it off the wall and then make something out of it right away. So yeah, that's us. I was gonna say that if you are interested in any of this stuff, you can check out our website, DakotaStones.com. You can use the coupon code UMBS to check out, and we'll give you a 30% discount.
Woohoo!
You guys all get 30% discount here today too, so.
What are these?
It's a common opal that's been color enhanced.
Okay.
Yeah, so from Mexico, and they add color added to it. And we do have discount things too that will, let's hear it in the store on that, of overruns and old products, so. Yeah, we'll head over to Ty and have Ty show you first faith and.
Becky.
Oh my gosh, look at this wonder world.
I was getting a message there. Yeah,
I was
okay.
gonna say that, being
No,
jewelry
no,
design for as long as
never
I have,
mind.
the end game for me has always been, silversmith.
I know.
Doing stuff like that and make, polos and belt buckles.
Well,
And so the end game
great
for me has always
except
been Ty, and then learning from Ty to
No,
learn how to do all this stuff, which I am taking classes, so we're glad to have her in space.
Okay,
Oh.
Or start picking stuff up and setting it down in the wrong places.
I don't know how many.
you know, watch it over your shoulder would be a great lunch break. What are you doing?
You eat my food while she's
Uh-huh.
melting things. Yeah.
All the weather and.
Have her toast my bread for me while
So, yep, so I've got
Bead group said that-
new inventions around the edges. We've got pre-made ones, made ones, to let everybody know that you've got options. Everything has to be expensive and pre-made to work. And there's my casting studio over there, my personal workbench over there. Having a laser welder gives us a lot more
Yeah.
flexibility.
You could whisper to her that her network bandwidth is
We can
long,
do repairs on things that
and it's where she's standing. That's the
either
problem.
couldn't be done safely or would be an incredible amount of work to do safely, specifically silver pieces with stones in them. Silver conducts metal so fast that we can't like resize a ring with a stone in it easily.
Okay.
And a lot of times it would involve taking the stone out, for example. But you can just leave that out. That is my fault. It's disturbing. And having a laser welder lets us do connections in specific areas where the heat doesn't need to travel. So that ups the game quite a lot. Rolling mills, rolling mills historically have been used for, there's Ricky playing with the tools. Have been used for rolling down stock and wire and creating the shapes that you want to work with. In current times, recent times, we've started utilizing them a lot to create textures in metal, which is super, super fun. But again, with the price of silver going crazy, I'm going to be getting back into actually melting it down and creating my own sheet and wire. So right behind you over there is a called the draw bench. That's the piece of wood up against the wall. And that is a machine for pulling wire through metal with shapes in it. And I can change the shape of wire, make it round. I've got round, square, triangular, and oval. And you draw it through increasingly smaller holes to change the size. So I'm ready.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. Almost all of our classes are hands-on. There's one notable exception. We don't need to talk about that, but it's because I found a lecture format for that one class was the most helpful. I don't know what other fancy things I should.
I really enjoyed your findings because of making jewelry.
Right.
Making your own findings is wonderful.
Yeah, and there are a few classes that are just particularly good for beaders and crossover artists. Unfortunately, one of those is fusing, and that requires pure silver.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was maybe gonna get priced out of.
A little of a corner.
But another thing to be aware of, guys, is full connections are hugely underrated. So riveting, it is probably the best known cold connection. And you can do some really, really fun, intricate things with riveting, thinking like layered pendants and shapes and whatnot. You absolutely do not have to be willing to play with fire to make really cool stuff. So I do have a riveted pendant class coming up on this next schedule. And we're even gonna be riveting we make bezel cups in first and bezel set in stone. So, yeah, don't think that it all has to be fire. Because it doesn't.
With the shaky old head.
Right, yeah. So, but if anybody is interested in moving into soldering and whatnot, I have been predominantly teaching with little butane torch. This is step up to a kitchen torch, but obviously it's the same size and look, and just making classes more accessible. This size torch is basically accepted anywhere a candle is. So I know there are some apartment buildings that wouldn't allow candles. That would be the exception, but you can do a lot of stuff with a little torch like that, and they've made torches far more accessible recently. Used to be the only thing you could do was work with like a big plumber's torch or a big dual fuel torch, and now you've got options. Many options.
This is so cool.
What?
It's so cool to have you both under one roof.
Within 10 feet of each other.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been a really neat collaboration. Not really a collaboration, but the businesses,
Yeah.
yeah, businesses really do support each other. So that would be the larger end of butane torch.
Uh-huh. Did you want to show us about your metal imprinting or that little
So, I didn't think. You guys can just crowd on down here. So these are both rolling mills. One is on the economy end of things, and this one is an old workforce out of a jewelry store, so it's a little better made. But I'm gonna take a piece of copper and magically in front of your eyes, transform it into a textured piece of copper. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one. So, like everything else, there's multiple ways to do this. I have become a really big fan of laser etched paper patterns. So it really is just paper, but it's had some of it removed. So there's a difference in thickness in the metal, not just a shift in like embossed paper. It's all the same thickness. It's just been kind of reshaped. This has a difference in thickness, and that is important.
Where do you get the textured paper?
They're actually pretty widely available now. There's a few different people on Etsy selling them. Pepe Tools has started carrying, as far as I know, the original developer of these was local here, and I was involved in the prototyping and whatnot. And Pepe Tools has started carrying that product, which is now owned by a different person. But so I'm setting my rollers to be about the same width as my metal. And then I'm taking a kind of fluffy sheet of paper as a back sheet, and then taking my pattern on the other side and sandwiching it.
Holy smoke.
wow, instantly. That's so cool.
Just from paper.
That's just paper. So the reason that and there's the paper, I could still get another one.
I was gonna say, can you use it a second time?
Usually I can get. I can usually get 3 rolls out of it. It does start to get
Lighter.
friable
Oh.
and it will start to break, but.
Knock something over.
It's just so cool.
So I could have tightened the wheels on that, but it's still a really reasonable pattern.
There's the second one. Wow.
And then I also thought that I set out here. Okay, there we go. This is an example of, I cut out a pattern in a manila folder. No, actually this one I did sandpaper, but whatever, the manila folder works too. And you can do your own personalized patterns. And it's nothing more than an X-Acto knife. And a manila folder.
The sandpaper gives a texture.
The sandpaper I was looking to see what kind of texture you got with the
That's
sandpaper,
pretty
but
cool.
even. Well, let's.
Look at yourself. This is what you call art on the spot.
You get one of these. Yeah.
What are these?
Sounds like you can get one at Harbor Freight, maybe.
Wait, what are we talking about?
You said there's the jeweler's one and then there's the,
Oh, the roller?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, probably not Harbor Freight.
Probably not 100%. So this is a slightly thicker piece of metal, but it feels like it's gonna work just. Really fun detail. All the rolling mills can be made different directions. So when one rolling mill going this way makes the rollers closer together, and on another rolling mill, you have to go this way. So when you have multiple rolling mills, you just have to look. No, you just have to accept that you don't know.
You make a bunch of those?
Yep.
My middle name is Hart.
Ah.
This Mrs. Heartstrings.
Probably a commission.
And I buy all Ricky's hearts, so.
Oh, that's perfect.
So if you drew something on, say, the manila folder
Mhm.
and pressed hard, would that still?
No.
It wouldn't.
Wouldn't be enough. You have to have an actual removal.
Okay.
Like it has to be a very noticeable difference in mass. Yeah.
So it's like the negative space that
Yeah.
kind of.
But you
the
could
key.
like stretch or stamp something on it so you get the shape and size that you want.
Hmm.
And then cut it out.
Oh, on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that, and there are absolutely people that make these custom. So that is a fun way to get your own art into a metal format.
That is just so cool.
Oh, wow. And again, keeping in mind that riveting opens up lots of windows. You could be riveting this to something behind it, that maybe a brass sheet that's been hammered, so it's sort of frilly. And could put one little rivet in the middle as an accent. So lots and lots of options.
So cool.
So while you guys are here, if anybody does want to play with it, you can do that.
So exciting, so much fun all in one space.
You have patterns that are actually, oh, no, well, maybe the paper. For the pattern. I do have a whole bunch of patterns that are already.
This is so cool.
Any questions from the audience or anything?
Dakota Stones, so much fun,
On the chat.
all in one space.
But each year's are. So that is.
This I-
Build it out.
Yeah. Turn mine off.
Oh, I turned off.
Yeah, I turned off my, all
All
right.
I got rid of my.
Whoops. You can say goodbye, Ricky.
Yeah, and I was gonna say again, if you guys would like to shop on the website, feel free to go on to DakotaStones.com. Create an account and you can use the coupon code, all caps UMBS. For the 30% discount, on products that are not, on sale already, so.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Is it uppercase or lowercase?
uppercase, all uppercase,
Uppercase.
yeah, because UMBS is important.
We are. We're so happy you could join us today and come to the Twin City Bead Bazaar next weekend. It is Saturday from 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 5 at the Eisenhower Community Center, Highway 7 in St. Louis Park.
Yeah, we'll be there.
So Upper Midwest Bead Society has all kinds of open beading, make and take areas. Dakota Stones will be there, and there also, there'll be more classes.
Yep.
By other instructors, like our metalsmith will be there and all sorts of other fun people. So come all weekend, stay all day, bring your lunch, have some fun,
Yeah,
and we'll see you next time.
See you,
Thank
buddy.
you so much.
thank you for coming.
Bye. Will you stop recording? Hi,
Can we-
and thank you so much for joining us.